Try harder t-shirt rocking. My allergies are in full effect. This is gonna be fine. It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine, guys. Episode 57. I'm so glad you're here today. And today we are making Samoas? I don't actually know how you say this, but what I do know, and I've never had these, what I do know is that these things are a very, very popular Girl Scout cookie. Here in Canada, we say Girl Guides. In the States, Girl Scout. There you go. So yeah, we're making these, and hopefully my guest knows. Apparently, my guest today really loves them. So we're gonna find out how you say it, and then we're gonna make them. I am so excited. My guest today, by the way, is the wonderful. She's wonderful. She's talented. She's a super mom. Lindsey Barnes is on the show today. I'm so glad she's here. She's coming to us from her kitchen in New York City. And Lindsey and I have gotten to know each other through doing stand-up shows online, became fast friends, and I'm so glad she's in my kitchen via the internets. Because she can't actually get here. The border's closed. What you gonna do? And on today's show, we are offering some love and offering some attention to the Restaurant Employee Relief Fund. Their information is in the show description, so go check them out and support them if you are able. Guys, we're making these things. It's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
All right, I've got the makeup on. I look way more awake than I did a second ago. And I just had some beans on the old stovetop. It felt very like Girl Scout, Girl Guide-y, camping kind of vibe. I haven't done that in years. Good lunch. Okay, so to start, this is what we're going to do. We are going to take our butter and our sugar, and we are going to mix them together. Now, this recipe, which is, by the way, is from justataste.com. Just a taste. This recipe yields 48 cookies. Although if Lindsey's children and husband are watching, this recipe yields 24. We're batching down. 48's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, we can do it if we were put to the challenge to eat them, but we're not going to. So what I am doing is, instead of 2 sticks of butter, I'm using 1. And because it's so hot in my apartment, I can just melt it. It's like 100 today. It's ridiculous, guys. It's gross. And the recipe calls for 1/2 cup of sugar. I am batching down though, so I'm going to do 1/3. And for today, instead of using granulated, I'm gonna go coconut. Because we're using coconut in this, and I mean, this doesn't taste particularly like coconut, but it's a vibe. I'm just going with the vibe, guys. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna take it to the KitchenAid, and we're going to mix. All right, so it's creamed together my coconut sugar and my butter. And if you use a stand mixer like the KitchenAid, always have a little scraper so you can go around the bowl, push everything down, give it another little toss, just so you're using as much of the ingredient as possible. Now, in this recipe, it says to use a separate bowl to do the next portion. I don't want to wash too many dishes. As much as I genuinely love doing the dishes, I'm gonna put it in one bowl because it's my kitchen. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. But if you want to play by the rules, go grab another bowl. Totally fine. So what we're going to put in here is we're going to go to all-purpose baking flour. By all means, use a gluten-free kind if you wish. Just if you do, add some xanthan gum so you're gonna have it a little more sticky. And I'm going to batch down. So 1 cup of flour for me. Do this. Add it to it. And then the next thing we need is the good old baking powder. I've got Magic. Use whatever brand you have. And for this, we need a 1/4 teaspoon. So if you're batching down, you then go to 1/8 of a teaspoon. And I am lucky I have one that has a tiny guy here, so we'll do this. And then, and again, I am playing by the no rules, and I'm putting this all in the same damn bowl, which the recipe does not say to do, but that's okay. And then we need a bit of salt. Our friend Kosher Salt is making an appearance. I put it in this fun little thing here, because I'm gonna have the box for the rest of my life, let's just be honest. And for this, it calls for 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So when you're batching down, you then use a 1/4 teaspoon. Move these over. It's like fun car keys. So we'll just do that. There we go. And that is all you need. We're gonna go back to the KitchenAid, mix this all together. If you are doing this using 2 bowls, you will then put it in increments. Do like, you know, a third. Don't do it all at once, do it in little batches. Or if you're like me and you don't listen to instructions, just put it all in one thing. I'm the worst. So good to see you. I'm so glad you're here to bake with me. Now, first question. How the hell do you say this cookie name? Because I've actually never said it or had it. Is it Samoa? Yeah.
Well, here's a fun fact. Well, it could be more fun if I had the other side of the fact, but I believe there are 2 Girl Scout cookie distributors in the US, one for the East Coast, one for the West Coast. And I believe the Samoas on the East Coast, it may not even be East-West, it might be North-South, are called Caramel Delights on the other side. So there's like, because we had discussed maybe doing tag-alongs, and I believe they have a second name. I think Thin Mints are pretty across the board, but yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So there's like an East Coast, West Coast beef.
As with everything. Why just out with Girl Scout cookies?
That is so funny. Well, when they're in the oven baking, I'll take a look and see what that's about, because we don't have those in Canada. First off, they're called Girl Guides here, not Girl Scouts. Although we don't have Boy Guides. That was never a thing. I've heard of Boy Scouts, but like Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts make sense. We don't have Girl Guides and Boy Guides. Just doesn't happen. But our cookies, we have 3. We have the Thin Mint, we have a chocolate, and a vanilla. That's it. So every time I've watched like, the Today Show or Live with Kelly, and they talked about Girl Scout cookies, I'm like, what are these cookies? You guys have so many.
They're insane, and we do have so many, and I love them all. I know you were saying you have to pick one or the other, but I really do. I mean, it caused such a rift in my marriage this year, because I said, I'm going to order Girl Scout cookies from my friend's daughter. My husband was like, I ordered a ton at work, so don't worry about it. Problem is, when he wasn't going into the office once everything shut down, I mean, obviously my priority with everything shutting down for COVID-19 was, I'm not going to get my Girl Scout cookies.
Which is a problem.
It's obviously my priority through all of this.
Yeah.
And I haven't worried about anything else for the past 4 months. Just the Girl Scout cookies.
I think that makes sense. The Girl Guides of Canada, their head office is 5-minute walk from me.
Ooh.
So maybe I'll take these over afterwards and try to convince them to make them for the Canadian folk. Maybe. We'll see.
Tip.
Exactly. So first thing, let's get our oven set to 350 if you've not already done that. Turn that on. Ooh, I love how your fridge has stuff on it, like mine.
So much stuff on it.
It's the best though. I love that.
It is. Oh, I notice it at times like this. I'm like, ooh, it's very busy. It's very, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I move stuff around.
Nice.
Yeah, but I always keep like certain things like my sandwich magnet up and my participation badge. I was
Yeah,
at a comedy festival earlier this year. I didn't place in the top 3, but I got a participation ribbon,
I love that. That's
which was great.
Wait, you're not even a millennial, but I love that you delight in a participation ribbon anyway. And yes, I'm not being mean, not calling you a millennial. We're the exact same age. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm happy to be anywhere, really. If I'm asked, I'm like, that's nice.
I seriously, just being in it, I totally agree. Yeah, no, we get magnets anytime we go somewhere. So like the top
Awesome.
just our various locations that we've
What is the strangest magnet you have?
strangest.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll answer you.
Let me see if I can find my weird one.
Technically not that weird
Oh,
because it's just a magnet from Maine, a place where we go every summer, and I just got back from yesterday.
nice.
The strangeness is that the name on it, Kurt, doesn't belong to anyone that lives here, or in fact, anyone we know. But it was in the dollar bin, and if you squint your eyes from far away, it kind of looks like a bad word. And I was like, well, that's worth $1.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I quite love that. I think well, it's not strange, but it's the first risky magnet I ever bought. It says men are like floor tiles. If you lay them right the first time, you can walk all over them for years. So let's get our dough out of the fridge. All right. Oh, good.
I'm busy. We discussed making a half batch. I ended up making the whole batch because when I explained to my 9-year-old daughter that I was making cookies,
Yeah.
she was like, great, where do you need me? And I was like, ooh, not with you. She was like, that completely unacceptable. So I ended up making the full batch, and I'll save the second half to make
Good
cookies.
call. Good.
I'm a pleaser.
You're a good mom.
The equation.
So in the recipe, it says to sit in the fridge for about an hour. You want the dough to get hardened, which it definitely is from the first time I put it in. So that's awesome. And this uses no eggs. So if you wanted, you could make these vegan. If you felt so inclined to use some vegan butter, you do that if you wish. If you wish.
The only highlight of them being egg-free for us was that we could obviously clean off the beaters and the spatula and the bowl.
Exactly.
Salmonella-free.
Which I don't know if it's because I'm a kid of the 80s, but I still do that with egg cookie dough anyway.
Of course we did, all the time.
That's how we lived on the edge, man. All right. So what we're going to do with this is just take a wee bit of flour and flour your surface, and then we're going to roll these out and cut some cookie shapes. So, and I don't have any cookie shape cutters that would resemble this Samoa cookie, which is fine. I'll figure it out. The recipe actually has a kind of a cool tip, because you have to take the center out of the cookie. She says to take the lid off a spice jar and use that as your center.
That was a little genius.
Which is kind of very smart.
Yeah. I like MacGyvering a situation. Wait, did you have MacGyver in Canada?
Yes. I have one joke where I've referenced MacGyver. I don't know if I've done it in an F comedy mic with you, but I've done that, and the kids in the room who are like under 30, they look at me like, what does that mean?
Yeah. I get that at open mics when I have younger people that don't get my references. I've also gotten it in my home for the past 15 years because my husband is English. And so I'll just randomly reference something that is so fundamental, like the Flintstones,
Yes.
or the Brady Bunch. And he's like, eh.
Yeah, they didn't really have an alt for the Brady Bunch in England. There might have been a Monty Python sketch that was kind of like it. It's
Monty Python covered a lot of ground, so
Oh,
I
gosh.
did something.
I remember as a kid doing the silly walk sketch for fellow classmates who had never seen it and had no idea what I was talking about, but I delighted in doing my silly walks. All right, so we're going to, let's see. It says 1/8 of an inch thick for rolling out the dough. I don't know what that means, but I'm just going to roll it out to be thin-ish.
Okay. Try that.
I don't play by the rules. Now, for the caramel portion of this, did you end up going with the caramel sauce, or did you find candies?
No, I'm a shortcut baker.
Nice. Yeah, all good. I ended up buying the candies because I actually couldn't find any caramel sauce today, and they are presently on my balcony melting. I'm just thinking, for the cookie itself, I think I'm just going to use a little ramekin to cut a cookie shape.
I've got this.
Oh, sweet. You got your cup. Nice.
All my cookie dough, my cookie cutter shapes.
Yeah.
Basic shapes. I've got like weird, like Halloween themed ones, spring themed ones.
We're getting there.
Probably not as far as I am comfort wise.
Yes. That's a whole other kettle of fish.
Same thing with schools. Ooh, my dough is mush.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now I'm just taking the little center bits, pounding them into the other cookie dough, then I'll just keep rolling it out to make more cookies. You know? Well, your daughter should come in to do a taste test at the end.
Oh.
If she's down.
With pleasure, and then with her little brother not far behind, I'm sure. Did someone say cookies?
Yeah. Now, we were going to do something with peanut butter originally, but you were saying your hubby isn't a big peanut butter fan.
So he's not, and the first couple of years of our relationship, he claimed to be allergic, which he is also not, because my uncle's an allergist, and like one of the first times we went to visit my uncle, I was like, oh, can we just test him out? Because I'm pretty sure I've seen him eat like Chinese peanut butter dumplings and have no reaction, so I don't think this is actually a thing. And yeah, it just turns out he just doesn't like it.
Well, you could just say that. I'd be so afraid of like pretending I was allergic that I'd will myself into becoming allergic. That's just how my brain works.
Yeah. So you can just have things that you don't like.
Exactly. You don't have to pretend. All right. Oh, I wish I could get a shot of this, but the way the dough's laid out on my counter, it looks like George Washington.
Ooh.
She's got a weird profile thing going on here. But
Trying to imagine.
oh goodness me. How many kids do you have?
2.
2, nice.
And I realized today when I was giving them the beaters to lick off that like 3 would never have worked. That would have been a whole I, as a parent, just cannot handle. Yeah.
That is fair.
That's it.
I'm an aunt to 2 girls and 2 boys, age ranging from 31 to 7 months.
Oh my goodness. That's a range.
It's a range. It's pretty wild watching them grow up. Like when my oldest nephew, Zachary, was old enough to drive a car, I was like, where did time go? How do you have a license? And then he turned 30. I was like, dude, stop. You're freaking me out.
I had a beer with my nephew a few weeks back, he's 20.
Yeah.
And a half, which is nearly 21. Authority. Don't come arresting us. And yeah, it is. It's like, wait, you were just like this tiny little thing.
Exactly. I know. My oldest niece is a chef in Montreal. I don't know where the time goes. And like, I'm not a mom. I'm just seeing it from that, that distance of being their aunt, but it's still pretty crazy.
It is crazy for sure, no matter what end you're on, because
Yeah.
I've got older nieces and nephews, like older than my kids, and
Yeah.
just got to watch them for a very long time, watching the speed that time goes.
It's wild. It's just wild. Oh my gosh. I'm already convinced that my youngest niece is going to grow up to be my agent. She already has like a lot of character and a good strong will about her.
People person.
Alrighty. This is going good. So these guys, I think, are going to bake for about 10 minutes once we're all said and done. I'll look at this here. Yeah, so we're going to bake these for about 10 to 12 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. But every oven's different, so don't stray too far because they may cook a bit or bake a bit quicker.
Right.
I know, but we'll keep going. Man, this dough smells so good. I don't know if I'm just hungry or if this dough really just smells good.
I thought it was nice and cool in here, but my dough is just mushy.
Oh no.
But it's fine because they're still going to taste delicious, even if they aren't the prettiest ones in the bunch. I'm glad I'm not marching them over to Girl Guide's office in the living room.
I'll let you know how that goes.
These are not my best foot forward for sure. But
That's okay. I'm always reminded when something doesn't look like nothing ever looks like the cookbook photo, when we set out to make that cake or, present something to like a boyfriend or a girlfriend or something. It never looks like the picture, but it still tastes good. Yeah, it's the thought that counts. I used to work at a bakery, and I will never forget the woman who came in with her chocolate chip muffin, presented it back to my face, and proclaimed there was too much chocolate in her chocolate muffin. And she wanted a refund.
how much of it had she eaten?
She had split it open and took a look and decided there was too much chocolate in the chocolate muffin.
Okay. Wow.
Like, I know there's that idea that the customer is always right. And maybe they are in their own mind.
That's exactly where they're always right. I worked in the service industry for 14 years.
Oh man, what did you do?
I own a store. Well, we still own it, but it was a brick and mortar for 14 years. My sister. And for as many amazingly lovely, fantastic people there are out there,
Yeah.
there's a few. They're a handful.
Oh, for sure.
The customer is always right tend to be the ones who are oh so wrong.
I think back sometimes like how I was in my 20s. I really do think I was a bit smarter about some things. I enjoy life more now, but I think I was a bit smarter about some things in my 20s.
I mean, that's a pretty good reflection to have.
Yeah. I definitely enjoy life more, like allowing myself to be happy. I think when I was in my 20s, it was more about trying to be who people told me I should be, and now it's just more do what I want. So.
I call my 20s my ghost years. There have been sightings of me passing through situations, but it's all a bit easy.
Yes, that's very apt.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you were referencing the Patrick Swayze movie.
Ooh.
Like, did you go on?
Really into that movie. My goodness.
It smells delicious.
Smells really good.
That much. All right.
That's where the technology needs to catch up. That everyone else could smell this.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully like they'll one day be like selected YouTube videos. Like, did you ever get the scratch and sniff stickers when you were a kid?
Of course. I'm a child of the 80s. Of course I had a sticker book, and the scratch and sniffs were the VIPs. Actually,
popcorn was always my favorite smell.
popcorn was so good.
It was really good.
And when Jelly Bellies first came out and they had popcorn jelly beans,
Yes.
novelty of those, I was like, they reminded me of the scratch and sniff stickers.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone on my Facebook page posted a picture of those stickers, and it took me back. Yeah.
Little throwback.
Oh, so good. All right. A few more minutes of this. What we will be doing next is making the caramel sauce.
Okay. I think I'm pulling my cookies out.
Yeah, I think so too. Mine smell good. Yep. They look great. Oh. All right. And then what we're going to do with the cookies is put them on a rack and let them cool. So while we're making the caramel sauce, the cookies are going to cool completely. My coconut looks lovely. Okay, so this is how Kelly and Lindsay are making their Girl Scout cookie empire with these Samoas. Okay, so I put the caramel and the coconut in the mix. I don't know if I was really supposed to do that, but that's what I did. And then what you do is you're going to take the cookie, you're going to dip it in this part so it looks like this, and then you're going to dip it in the coconut so this happens. And I'm just going to continue because I've dipped these already in the caramel sauce. And you're basically just going to keep at this until they're all looking lovely. Rest for about 30 minutes. You're going to let the cookies rest, let them cool completely. Then we are going to come back and add the chocolate sauce, drizzle that on top. We're going to eat a couple, and then we're going to head to the Girl Guides or Girl Scouts and tell them we're taking over. Okay, before we get to the cookies, there is quite a scandal with this cookie name change in the Girl Guides.
Rivalry?
Right. Yeah, folks can read about it because there's quite a thing. But yeah, Caramel Delights are what we're making because apparently the two bakeries producing the cookies, only one is allowed to use the name. So I guess they tried to like merge it. It's drama, a lot of drama.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm here for cookie drama.
How did you do with the dipping and the coconut? Was that?
My dipping, I was about to send you a picture. I'm like not technologically advanced, but I feel like we are dipped, we're coconutted, we are. I've even got. Let my kids come out in the meantime and make cookies from the scraps of dough I had. So those are them. And meanwhile, I've been snacking on burnt coconut this entire time.
I had to put the caramel and coconut bowl that I had in the sink because I was eating it with a spoon.
Like the spoon's there. That's obviously what it's for, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have to do quality control.
Oh, no. Isn't anyone?
So shall we melt our chocolate now? Yes. If folks are doing this in the microwave, as I'm doing, do it in batches. Don't do it for like 40 seconds. It's going to burn and be kind of weird. So do it for like 15, 20, or whatever you need to do, and always stirring in between. Perfectly. With a bit of caramel. All right. I was so nervous about making these cookies, I'm not going to lie. I was like, this looks like a lot, but this was pretty easy.
It was good. Like getting the dough done, I find the most intimidating because the dough, there's always that split second where I'm like, it's wrong. And then I'm like, oh no, there it is.
Moment of doubt. All right. So what we are going to do is take our cookie and just dip the bottom, from what I understand, where the base of this should be chocolate. So, dipping it in, and then letting this cool on the rack. And when you're letting it cool on the rack, put like a paper towel or parchment or something underneath so you don't lick your table. As I just, well, you don't have to lick it, but I did. Yeah, there was caramel on my table. I used my finger.
There's caramel on my table. It's not there anymore. That's all you need to know.
Exactly. You know too much. Oh man, this is a good picture. I'm gonna have to take a picture of these cookies. My goodness. Okay.
I'm doing a little drizzle with my extra chocolate.
Oh, I will do that too. That's a great plan.
Because I can't waste the extra chocolate.
Rather than my eating it, which I was going to save it for later.
And by drizzle, I mean putting it on my fingers and just dabbing it straight onto the cookies. That seems to be the preferred style that I'm using at the moment.
Awesome.
Fine. Everyone eating these is part of my COVID bubble, so we're fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've got my bubble going. I look forward to the day where I can have like a lot of people over in the house again, but I don't know when that day is going to be. To be honest.
Like you want it, but then like as things reopen and like the prospect of having it becomes a reality, it's also quite frightening.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm just gonna eat everything off of my hands now.
Oh, God. Mm-hmm. All right, shall we?
Yes, please.
Oh my goodness. Well, cookie cheers to you.
Cookie cheers to you.
There we go. And for TV time, we're eating them now because they're still a bit drippy, but whatevs.
But beautiful.
Mmm. Mmm. Oh, this is like a hug. That's so good.
That's awesome.
Mmm. I have goosebumps. Oh. Mmm. Oh, that's a nice salty, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Mmm. My dough came out really nice. I'm happy with the cookie itself.
Yeah.
Mmm.
Oh, that's very delicious.
Oh, damn.
My daughter is off camera, just staring me down like, is it time yet?
God.
Is it time yet? Come try one.
Mm-hmm. This is really good. And I've never had this before, so I'm just impressed with what was made. But you can get approved. You like? Awesome. Mmm. Mmm. So good.
My son doesn't want to get his hands dirty. These are not the cookies for you then.
No, wait till they're a bit cool.
Exactly. You need about 10 minutes then.
Mm-hmm.
Would you? Now my husband is currently off.